Good morning, this is Kelley Hobart from Alpaca Direct, and I'm here on Technique Tuesday. I'm back. I got back from my trip from visiting my sister. Her brother-in-law passed away, and so I wanted to be there to support her. And so I went on a nice long journey and was able to go to Reading to spend some time with her. And hopefully she is still doing well, and I was able to have a few laughs with her. We always laugh when we get together, and so we did have a good time, even though it was kind of a sad time because of the death in the family. So, but thank you for all of you who sent prayers our way, and that is much appreciated. And I know it's going to be difficult for the family for a while to grieve over the loss of a loved one, but anyway, thank you for your prayers. I appreciate that. And so today we are going to be talking about a lovely sock pattern. And the reason why I wanted to do socks today is, of course, it's nice and warm outside. And this warm weather knitting is a great opportunity for us to work on socks. And you know how I love two at a time toe-up socks. So Jim, if you can share with them what I'm doing here. This is a pattern out of the Michelle Hunter. Do you see my socks here? It's I'll show you the book that it's from. Do you see the heel? It's a garter stitch heel, which is nice and squishy, and it is very durable, and it is a great heel. I haven't done one of those yet, and so I had fun doing that. So we'll be talking about that. And this pattern came from this book. It's called The Best in Knit Purl Hunter, and I marked the page so I could find it for you. And this is Kaika. Kaika or something like that?
Kaika.
Kaika. And this is what it looks like when it's complete. And I'm working on my cuff, of course. Although on her heel, she did do a different heel, right? She did a short row heel, a regular short row heel. And so in the place of her short row heel, I went ahead and put my garter stitch heel because I've been wanting to do that for a while. And you know, you can take these little techniques and just kind of intermingle patterns. So like when I did my toe on these socks, the toe, she does a traditional toe, and it is more of a pointed toe where she will do a set of increases on either side of the sock on both sides, and then she'll do one knit round. So what she would do is she would do a increase here, and then she would turn it and do it here and here, and then she would follow that by a knit round, and it makes more of a pointed toe. But you can see mine is nice and round. And how you get this nice rounded toe, and I think that Kathleen might post this for you because I put it in the notes. I have a little recipe that I use for making my rounded toes. And what I basically do is I will knit the first round to get your, after you do your Judy's Magic Cast On, you knit one round. And then you would start with those increases. Go knit one, knit front and back, knit to the last 3 stitches on needle 1, and then you would knit front and back, knit 2, and then repeat that for the second needle. And then you would repeat the increase until you have 22 stitches or 24 stitches or 26 stitches. So no knit rounds in between, just increasing every round. And that's, it gets wide really fast, which makes it rounded instead of pointed. And then you would start doing an increase followed by 2 knit rounds, an increase followed by 2 knit rounds. Then you would do an increase and 3 knit rounds and an increase, and you should be complete at that point. So hopefully Kathleen can post that for you, or we can do a blog. What do we do with that, Jim? Do a blog post?
Yeah, we'll probably do a blog post and post it up there.
Yeah, so that is the nice rounded toe that I put on mine, and then I was having fun doing all of these different stitches. Yes, Jim?
So a bunch of people coming online. So Debbie says hi,
Debbie.
Angela.
Good morning, Angela.
I see Peggy,
nice to have
a bunch of them
here.
scrolled by. So
good morning. It's nice to have all of you here, and I'm so glad to be back. I love spending time with my sister, but I always like getting back home to my hubby. There's nothing like home sweet home. So, and anyways, oh, Jim wanted me to mention as we were going along, you know, when I went to visit my sister, she just got diagnosed with diabetes type 2.
She's your identical twin.
Yes, and she's my identical twin. So I was so bummed to hear that. but she is embracing it with both feet, and she is working as hard as she can. She's changing her diet, and she's really making some major changes in her health habits so that she can not have to go on insulin. So she has 2 more months to make sure that she gets her labs down, the A1C down, so that she can, and her blood sugar down, so that she doesn't have to go on insulin. So yes, I have been doing a lot to my health too, trying to make sure that I don't get that, because I'm not diabetic yet, but my lab values are a little abnormal. They're a little high, so not where I want them to be, of course. So I have just finished reading the Obesity Code, and that is a wonderful book. And it's written by a doctor, and he talks about why our traditional diets don't work. And so there was a lot of information that I learned out there. So all of you, if you are interested in that kind of thing, check out his book, because it's very useful for all of us. So anyway, back to the socks. Oh, this was a fun project. Oh, the yarn that I'm using, this is Serenity 20. It is by Zen Garden, and it is a cashmere and merino blend. Very nice. One of my most favorite sock yarns that we have. And there's some different colorways that we have. So we have a bunch of different colors. This makes fantastic socks. Some of my favorite socks are the ones that are made from this. So I'm looking forward to having them.
We have the pictures now for the Coeur d'Alene colors and the Hayden colors too.
And we do have local, what Jim did is he took some pictures of the lake and had them hand dyed, some yarns to match the picture of Hayden Lake, and then one for Coeur d'Alene Lake, right, Jim?
Mm-hmm.
And then there was one in winter?
Winter and fall.
Winter
for
and
Hayden.
fall, yes. So if you wanted to take a look at that on Alpaca Direct, they will be there. And so, but it is a really nice yarn. A special treat if you wanted to treat yourself. So anyways, let's see, what are we doing here? Yes. Okay, so back to our short row heels. So I don't know if you guys are familiar or if you've ever seen a garter stitch heel, but it makes a very thick, kind of squishy fabric, and I really like it. So some things to note about doing the garter stitch heel. One of them was, you know how if we're doing a regular short row heel, we'll do short rows on 10 stitches on each side, and then we'll leave 10 in the middle. Well, with this, you leave 5. You have to work more stitches because the the garter stitch heel is a little more compact, so you need more actual rows. So you actually work more of the stitches into the center, and it works out great. It was really fun to do. So anyway, and then on here they had this one stitch that's called a PKOK, and Michelle likes to call it peacock, and you just pass the 3rd stitch over. I thought I would show that to you, and then you would go knit yarn over knit, and it kind of makes, do you see how it's kind of holy in there, and then you could see that stitch going over the top. It's super easy to do. And so this pattern was really fun. So those of you that are looking for a bunch of patterns that are great for summertime and want to, might need to use some videos. Maybe you're rusty at knitting and you want to get back into knitting. She has exceptional videos, and you can either YouTube them or you can go to knitpearlhunter.com. And she is a wonderful lady. Let's see if we have, I'm going to look in here and see if I can see a picture of Michelle. And she was a teacher for 30 years, and she is here's a picture of her. This is Michelle. And she's a teacher for 30 years and then retired. And then she uses her teaching skills to help us with these books. So it's totally awesome. Oh yes, good idea, Jim. Jim is reminding me about our contest, right? So this week we were going to give away this copy of The Best of the Knit Pearl Hunter. So how do you enter to win? And the way that you enter to win is you post comments in the comment section. Let us know what you're working on. If you have this beautiful project that you're working on, don't forget to give us the pattern because we want to make it too. So don't forget that. And then if you have any thoughts or ideas for upcoming Technique Tuesdays, I'm always love to hear your suggestions because I like, this is, we want to learn together. And so I like to have projects that you're all interested in. So anyways, don't forget to post comments in the comment section. And if you have friends that you want to share with and maybe they want to learn how to do these different things or, you know, get little tips as we're going along, you tell them about us and maybe they can get involved in that too. So let's see what we're doing here. Oh yeah. So you know that I was doing these socks 2 at a time, and they're 2 at a time in the round using the magic loop method. And when you see the magic loop method, it means that you have a loop, usually here and here, but I'm at the beginning of the round, so there's no loop over there right now. But when I bring it around to start knitting, such as this, do you see how now you have 2 loops? See, that's what magic loop 2 at a time looks like. And it's really easy to do. What I love about doing the technique is that you don't have second sock syndrome and you have 2 socks that are exactly the same. Say you goof up on something or something like that. Well, guess what? It's on both socks. So it is now a design element. So you have no problem with that. And when you're done, they fit exactly the same. I mean, it's fantastic. It's the only way I knit my socks, or most things that are two of whatever, whether they're sleeves for a sweater or what have you, I do them 2 at a time, and it makes it so easy and so nice. So if you haven't learned how to do that yet, you should try, because I'm sure you'll like it once you get the hang. Some of these things you have to practice a little bit, but you know, persevere and keep practicing. And what I tell the students is if you practice every day for a while until you get the skill down, you'll have so much more success. If you practice once a week, you kind of forget by the time you get to the next practice session, and then you have to relearn. Oh yes, and as you're going along, could you let me know what your favorite sock patterns are? That would be great. I would love to, or maybe what kind of heel you like. That would be interesting too. I'd love to hear that, because there are so many different ways to do your heels on your socks, and some people have insteps that are, you know, bigger than others. Some people are really flat-footed. It depends, but let me know what you like. I like hearing from you. So yes, that would be great to know. So I just wanted to show you how easy it is to get started on this garter stitch heel that we have. And remember, it's not in the pattern, but she does have it on her website. If you type in garter stitch heel for little hints or whatever in YouTube, you can find all kinds of different people who have it on there, so you can get an idea. So let me go over to my swatch here, Jim, and let's show you how easy it is. So when you when you do socks, I just have this little flat piece. Say that this is the back side of your sock and it's where you're going to be putting your heel, right? So let's see how many stitches I have here. 5, 10, 16. So I would go on a short row heel, I would do 5 stitches on each side, doing wrap and turns, and I would leave 6 free in the middle. But with this actual method, it's not good. You can't do that. You have to work more. So you can go, I mean, maybe you leave 2 stitches in the middle. That wouldn't be ideal because it's kind of shallow, but you could do that. It depends on if you're doing a baby sock, you might be able to do that just fine. So you would just begin knitting until you get to your last stitch. And I don't know if you guys have done short rows yet, but let me show you what a normal wrap and turn would look like, and then I'll show you what this looks like. So you can kind of compare the two and see what you think, right? So normally I would put my working yarn in front, grab the stitch, put my working yarn in back, transfer it around, and that would be a normal wrap and turn. But on this actual one, you would keep your working yarn in the back, slip the stitch, bring the working yarn to the front, slip that stitch back to the left-hand needle, and then turn it. Now remember, with the garter stitch heel, it's always knitting, right? No purling. Isn't that cool? So you can do it faster. I mean, some people purl faster than they knit, but for me, I think that knitting is pretty fast. So I just wrap that one stitch, and that's what it looks like. It gives you like a gap like that. So I don't really need to use stitch markers because I can kind of see where that gap is with my eyes closed. I could still see it because it's so visible. So you just would knit to the end, and then you would leave your working yarn in the back, slip the stitch purlwise from needle tip to needle tip, bring the yarn to the front, bring that stitch back to the left-hand needle, turn your work. And then when you come down here, we're gonna go to, this is the one that we wrapped, and so we're gonna knit until we get to this stitch right here. So we're gonna go ahead and knit it, and then I'll show you. And then you would just continue on like this back and forth until you only have, you know, either 2 or 5 stitches left in the center. It kind of depends on what your stitch count is. Normally with a short row heel you split it in thirds, but with this garter stitch heel you do not want to do that. So then we go to this stitch. That stitch has not been wrapped yet. Leave your working yarn in the back, slip it needle tip to needle tip, and then put your working yarn in the front, replace that stitch, turn your work. And you go on so on and so forth like that, and then you have to go back and you don't ever have to pick up any wraps. It just is really neat technique. If you've never done garter stitch short row heel, I would advise that you give it a try because I thought it was pretty cool. So I'm going to show you one more time just so you can see it. So here's your gap of where that one was wrapped. Leave the working yarn in the back, transfer the stitch, bring the working yarn to the front, transfer the stitch, and turn your work. And that is all you do to do your garter stitch short row heel. And so it is super easy technique, and I really like the squishiness, the thickness of that heel, and the fact that it'll be a little bit more durable. And so if you like short rows and doing short row heels, try the garter stitch short row heel, because this garter stitch short row heel is very nice looking. It is super, super nice.
A few people said they like the fish lips kiss heel.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, I like that too. Yeah, I like that one too. But you know, I'm always trying to do something new. I'm always looking for things that I haven't done before, because I want to learn as much as I can. And you know, with each new skill, you learn maybe, I don't know, it just gives you something else that's different to do. And so I really like that. So try the garter stitch heel if it's appealing to you, or try that rounded toe, which I think has been becoming more popular most recently. I hadn't heard of it a few years back, but now it seems to be everywhere. So, and I actually do like the way the rounded toe fits. And
can they see that?
You guys are, yeah,
Round.
Yeah, I do like that rounded toe and how it fits. Do you see how nice that is? It's a nice rounded toe. So, yeah, just doing new skills and enjoying this. And then, you know, having projects that you can work on in the summertime. I know if you're like me, I'm outside all the time, and it is warm outside. So the thought of putting a bunch of wool on my lap is not very appealing. But these socks, it's just a little tiny project. And, you know, I can even do it out in the boat. Or, you know, when I'm waiting for Jim, if he's in the store, I even stick these little projects in my purse and my handbag. I've been known to take it out and knit at Costco or something like that. And I have people come over and ask about knitting, and I don't know. I think it's kind of cool when you share the love. Anyway, it's really super fun. So I better go ahead and see who the winner is for this week. Oh my goodness.
Hey, Kelley, before you did that, one other comment. I don't know if it's, well, we're not really set up, but I think Debbie said, are we going to do a reveal for the Knit Club kit?
Ah,
But
nice.
we could, but I don't think we're really set up, so maybe we'll do it next month.
For the knit club kit, for this month,
Yeah.
you mean? Oh, it's going to be coming up soon. I'll be showing it to you. But for right now, it's just going out in the mail today, so it's a surprise. So you always get to have your surprise, and then we'll talk about it after you've received it in the mail. I don't want to ruin the surprise. But yeah, it is a pretty cool little project, and I love the yarn that we've chosen. So you'll enjoy it.
And you did the pattern.
Well, yes, and I did the pattern. So I wanted to get something that's a little easier this month. I mean, the last project was kind of long and arduous, and it was fun, but maybe we're just going to give people time to catch up. And with this project, you'll be able to catch up a little bit, and you won't have to burn so many brain cells trying to do it. So it's fun. It's a fun project. You guys will enjoy it. So yes. Okay, so now back to our, I was looking for the, oh, right, okay. So last week's prize was for this Ultra Alpaca Chunky, and the reason why, remember I was doing my moon kusas, the boots, those black boots that I did, and by Tiny Owl Knits, and it is on our website, right, Jim?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so I thought 2 skeins of this Ultra Alpaca Chunky in the red colorway would be good. And Nancy Davis is the winner. So congratulations, Nancy. You've won this 50% of 50 wool, 50 alpaca yarn that is great for the Monkusa boots. And anyway, Nancy Davis won. So all you have to do is give us your address and we can get this out in the mail to you. Such a lovely yarn. I've used Ultra Alpaca Chunky for so many projects. I can't even begin to comment on how many projects I've done with that. And then on our next Facebook Live, we are going to be talking about either an Andrea Mowry pattern or I'm going to do some kind of shawl. So that's what we'll be working on for next week. And in summary of what we're talking about today is knitting socks 2 at a time in the round using the magic loop method. It's so much fun. And it's quick, right, Jim?
Mm-hmm.
I only did it in a couple days. I think I did the heel the evening before last. And then the next day I did almost up to where the heel was turned. And then yesterday I worked on it for a little while and turned the heels and got a little bit of length on there. But within this week, I'll have these puppies done. I'll be able to wear them. So it's actually a great way to do socks. Some people think that doing 2 at a time in the round can take a little longer, but once you learn how to do it, it's heavenly.
Several people said they like the sorbet shawl. We're still finishing up on the knit club. So.
Right. So you know that we have a knit club here at Alpaca Direct, and it's called Kelley's Knit Club. And it is a fantastic way for all of us to do projects. We kind of knit along together. And then I provide all different kinds of videos to help you along the way. If you're a beginning knitter, if you're following using the videos, you should be able to get through the projects with no problem. I'm trying to keep the projects easy enough that those beginners will be able to accomplish the projects. And so it's super fun way to do it. And I only use the yarns that I love. So I only use my most favorite yarns. And so anyway, you can be rest assured that what you're getting is nice yarn. And we all have fun with it. So anyways, if you're interested in that, it's on Alpaca Direct. You can take a look there. Was there anything else I missed, Jim? I think I pretty much got it. And thank you again for all of your support while I was gone with my sister. And this next week, I will be right back on schedule. So I will see you soon. You guys have a great week.